Hello everyone, Locutus of Noid here, and I'm making a video to show off the features of the new plugin that I've just created. It's a plugin that allows your players to go trick-or-treating at doors in the world that you specify. And the way that the players trick-or-treat is they come up to a door and they just punch it 3 times with an empty hand like that. Now the reason that this didn't work is we didn't register this door. So the first step that you have to do in order to enable trick-or-treating on your server after installing the plugin is to register a door. And you do that with the command reg door and then the coordinates of the door. If you just tab, it'll auto-complete the coordinates of the door you're looking at. And it's very important that you register the door from the side that you want the players to trick-or-treat from. So for example, I've registered that door from the outside. The players won't be able to trick-or-treat from the inside here. That won't work. So this door is now registered, and if we run the command list doors, it shows the doors that are in the database. You can see here door number 1 and the coordinates and the world that it's in. So let's go ahead and register the rest of these doors here. And I do apologize for the complete lack of spookiness. Apparently building a spooky village is not in my skill set. So one of my players is going to help me do that on my server for Halloween, and you'll want to probably build something a little spookier than a series of doors lit up by sea lanterns everywhere. So that is how you register a single door. You just use the reg door command over and over. Now you can also register double doors. And if you register a double door, these 2 doors will be treated as one door by the plugin. So the way you register a double door is reg dub door, and then you enter the coordinates of the first door, and you can even just input it incomplete with the coordinates of the first door. It'll fail, and then you can just hit up to bring back the failed command and add in the coordinates of the second door. And there we go. That registers a double door. Let's go ahead and register the rest of these real quick. And as you can see, it works on all different types of doors. Oop. And this should be the last one. Now there is one thing to say about registering double doors. One second. The 2 doors must be next to each other like this. It will not work if they are next to each other like this. For example, reg door. And then let's come over here and try and register them. As you can see, we get a failure notice. Double doors must face the same direction. It won't work if, for example, they are not on the same level. Doors must be on the same level to be registered. And it's also worth noting that you don't have to aim at the bottom or the top in particular. You can aim at any part of the door. So for example, register this double door by aiming at the top of this one, and then we can come over here and aim at the bottom of this one, and it registers. Again, it's the same thing. You have to register the door from the side that you want the trick-or-treaters to be able to trick-or-treat from. Whoops. And also, if you do accidentally delete a door like that, it doesn't matter. You can just replace it, and the plugin will still recognize it. But if we come over here, let me change my game mode back to survival. I can't trick-or-treat from this side. Now, there is one other quick thing to note, is that double doors cannot overlap. So for example, we have this registered double door here. If I try and register these 2 as a double door, we get a failure notice because there is already a registered double door at one of these locations. So They cannot overlap. Now let's go ahead and run the list doors command. And you can see it shows the doors here, doors 1 through 10. You can see the single doors are represented by a single set of coordinates and the world that they're in. Double doors are represented by both sets of coordinates and the world that they're in. You can see here we're displaying results 1 through 10 of 11 results. In order to see the next page of results, you just type, list doors, and then the page number that you want. So here we want to see page 2. So there we go. There's page 2 of the results. And that last result is the door that we registered over here. So let's go ahead and delete that. So you can do that with the command del door, and then the row ID. The row ID here is 11. And there we go. That deletes it from the database. And if you try and delete a door that is not there, for example, door number 11 is no longer there, it fails. There is also the command del door all, which entirely clears out the database. Obviously, that's not something I want to do right now, but it deletes all of the doors that have been registered. Okay, so in terms of preparation, assuming you've already prepared the config file, that is all that you need to do. Now, the config file lists off the possible things that they could win by trick-or-treating, and that's done with just regular commands. For example, if this were the command that you entered into the config file, the plugin would replace player name with my name when I trick-or-treat and kill me. There's a further explanation in the config file. If you know how Minecraft commands work, it should be pretty easy to understand. So let's go ahead and try some trick-or-treating. We have, I believe, 10 doors here, 5 single doors and 5 double doors that have been registered. And I'm going to go trick-or-treating. Let me make sure I'm in survival. I believe I am. Okay. So you just knock on the door 3 times. We see a flame effect. And then after, we get the thunder effect as the door throws itself open. And in this case, you can see I gained 30 experience. That was my reward. And that command was just as it was entered into the config file, was XP 30 levels player name, like that. That's all that was in the config file. It chose it and it gave me 30 levels. It works with iron doors too, even if they're unpowered. So let's go ahead and try this. And what did we get? Oh, we got diamonds. All right, excellent. And it is also worth noting that these 2 blocks, let me switch over to creative here. These 2 blocks behind the door, each time we knock, will get cleared out. So for example, if I put 2 blocks there and let's steal an oak door here. Again, it doesn't matter if you break one of the doors, you can just replace it. The coordinates are still in the plugin. It doesn't matter. So let's switch back to game mode survival and we knock on the door. And there you can see it cleared out the 2 blocks behind. That's to make sure that the plugin has a place to spawn whatever the player happens to win. There again, you see I won XP. Hopefully we get something more exciting this time. Oh, gas tiers. Okay. And again, all of these rewards are completely customizable, including the titles, the quantities, what actually happens. In the future, I might make the particle effect and the noise effect customizable, but for the moment, I'm afraid just flames and thunder seem to me to be the most Halloweenish. So you can see when it's double doors, both doors get the flame, both open at the same time. And looks like we got slowness. Beautiful. So if we switch back over to creative here, and it's going to clear out all 4 of those blocks, because again, it clears out the 2 blocks behind any door when it's used for trick-or-treating. So we're going to trick-or-treat again. We're going to get the flame effect on both doors. Both doors are going to fling themselves open, and we'll see what we get. Oh, diamonds again. That's another thing you can do. You can, for example, summon lit TNT, charged creepers, anything you can do with Minecraft commands. It literally runs the command that's in the config file. So your imagination is the limit. Oh, no, get away. Ah. Okay. I believe we already did that. One. And if you do try and there is a limit that is defined in the config file. Right now, the limit is once per day. So if I try and trick or treat again, you've already used this door the maximum number of times today. Try again tomorrow. You can change the limit to be whatever you want. It can, and every time somebody does trick or treat, the time, or rather the date, the prize won, and the player's name will appear in the log file, which can be found in the plugin folder. Okay, let's try this last door here. Again, gas tubes. Rather disappointing as far as variety goes, considering all of the variety that's actually in the default config file. But there you have it. That is how the plugin works. And the reason that you have to register each door beforehand is, first of all, on a larger server or even on a small server like mine, there are several hundreds to several thousand doors, and even on our small server, there are hundreds of doors, most of which aren't actually doors. They're parts of farms or various other mechanisms, and it doesn't make sense for the server to waste resources monitoring those doors. And also that way, more enterprising players can't create lots of doors and run their own little trick-or-treating farms and get lots of diamonds or emeralds or whatever you happen to set the reward up to be. Now, let's try out the del door all command. So that clears out the database, list doors. You can see there are no registered doors found. Incidentally, we can now re-register doors and trick-or-treat again. There's looks like we got invisibility there. Yep. There's no risk of your players being able to glitch the system like that because you have to be OP for that command. So there you have it. Hope you guys enjoy the plugin. I hope you find a use for it, or hope your players enjoy it as well. Have a great day.